Welcome everyone to episode 38 of the Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I am joined by Genji and Shaishen. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Whoa, yeah!
What the Anyways, this time around, we're going to be focusing on the Callisto Protocol. This game was nominated by Genji, and against all odds, it won on the Wheel of Mystery with a 1 in 16 chance of being picked, a 6.3%. So congrats, Genji. You, I don't know how you did it. How'd you rig that wheel?
Damn.
I told you I'd have to kill you.
Ah, see? Okay.
But we're going to keep it G-rated here.
It was just a joke.
Okay.
It was just a joke, by the way. Anyone who's listening. Anyways.
Call the police.
Call the police. SOS. The Callisto Protocol was developed by Striking Distance Studios, published by Krafton, and was originally released on December 2nd, 2022 for PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. On the Callisto Protocol's official website, it reads, quote, "Fight to survive the horrors locked within the walls of Black Iron Prison in this immersive next-generation take on survival horror. The Callisto Protocol." But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? And the order of presenting will be Shaishen and then Genji. And please be advised, there may be spoilers ahead. And with that said, let's get started. Question 1. Describe the game in one sentence.
All right, Callisto Protocol. I called it a derailed successor to Dead Space with gory gameplay and sci-fi aesthetics.
All right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean, I'm lying. Next.
Callisto Protocol is a game that you would have if you made a spiritual successor to a game that was highly successful, but you failed to understand what made the original game successful, with a bunch of gore that almost seems to be the case of gore for the sake of gore.
Dang.
Next.
Hell yeah.
Freaking gloves are coming off on this one. All right. Question 2. What platform did you play the game on? And briefly describe your play style towards the game.
I played on PC, pretty good. PC Master Race. Play style? It was more of a text adventure where I had to figure out why the game was not working for the first 2 hours. And then I ran a skunk gun, and I upgraded the Magnum and the baton. And that's kind of it. Just baton and skunk gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
Pretty
you
good.
Did you find all the schematics or whatever for all the guns, or?
Yeah, I found all the schematics. It's just the other one sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least I ran skunk gun and Magnum. But yeah,
kept it simple.
Did you find the assault rifle, or?
yeah, I got a solar rifle.
Okay.
I barely used it though.
It was trash. Okay. All right, Genji.
Oh, so I played it on PS5 Master Race.
Oh yeah.
What?
I had a surprisingly smooth experience. It seems like PlayStation 5 seems to be the way to go for this game. I found all the weapons. I found that a really good way of approaching the game was through upgrading the baton just enough so that when an enemy blocked, you would cut off a limb. And then just focusing on kinesis sort of thing, just maxing that out while also putting a bit of money into the assault rifle. But I found a very good approach to the game was that because you can use your kinesis to pick up entire enemies, you pick them up, place them on a table, and it causes them to die instantly without dealing any damage.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Genji, do you know if was this game developed for console in mind and then ported to PC, or was were all platforms being developed at the same time? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure all platforms were being developed, but the game did get a couple of delays, and I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure some people from PlayStation came over to assist with finishing off the game, and then with PlayStation's and then because of the game being advertised a lot for PlayStation, it seemed to be the right choice to go, that it would be the better thing. And also the problem is that with Glenn Schofield, or whatever, who's the person who was in charge of like the previous Dead Space games.
Mm-hmm.
The PC ports for the earlier ones weren't the best. Dead Space 1 was locked to 30 on PC. So based upon the track
Wow.
record of the head of Glenn with his previous track record with PC games, it was easily not the best way to approach the as in buying it on PC.
So what
So
you're saying is a mixture of like Sony wanting the game to work on their console, mostly because a lot of advertisements were put towards their console for this game.
yeah.
Okay.
I find that any game that you find a lot of advertisements for, if it's Xbox or PlayStation or PC, whatever one is heavily advertising seems to be the better experience.
That makes
And
sense.
because of the past track record with PC, it seemed like the worst platform to approach it on, minus like the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not on the Xbox One, I don't think.
Oh, it is.
If it was, that'd be the worst experience.
It's unfortunate too. Before we continue, just a quick shout out. There was another person who was supposed to join us, who actually did buy and play the game, was Mr. McMahon.
Oh yeah.
He encountered fatal errors while playing on the PC version. Again, this recording is happening on January 15th of 2023. So potentially as time progresses, they'll probably fix all the bugs and issues. But he was experiencing crashes to the point where he couldn't even progress in the game. As so did a lot of people. If you look at all the Steam reviews too, it's a pretty common occurrence. So if you are gonna play this game, kind of like what Genji said, definitely get it for console if you can. If you really want to play
Ideally,
it, or
if you own both.
yeah,
If you have both consoles, definitely lean towards the PlayStation.
at least for
versions.
now.
Yeah.
Maybe in like 3 years when they fix all the bugs.
Yeah.
Then
They'll
you'll
come out
be
with
okay.
like Game of the Year edition or something.
Oh
after
yeah,
they,
Game of the Year
There's a
edition.
season because there's a season pass with the game, so there'll
Oh,
probably be
yeah.
like a season pass Game of the Year edition where we'll fix all the problems.
Yeah, there'll at least be
and charge
three.
$80.
Yeah.
Three complete
Extra
editions.
money to play. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the re-release, 10 years from now. Can't forget about that because that's a common thing.
Also,
now.
thought I'll quickly, before we get too much further into this one, I did pre-order the game and I bought the deluxe edition, so I do have the season pass.
Dang,
So
you're
whether or
locked in.
not I have any biases towards the game because of the extra money I've put in, but I did purchase the deluxe edition pre-ordered.
Now, Genji, considering that Dead Space is one of your favorite games of all time, and this is made by a lot of people who worked on the original Dead Space, I'm anticipating you're gonna spit some hard truths here. Fair,
Yep.
but
Harsh.
yeah, harsh. Fair but harsh, which is all we can really say. So
I'm not even looking forward to it anymore.
we'll see. We'll see. You guys ready for question 3?
Yeah.
All right. Question 3. What are 3 things you liked about the game? And for this one, we will just be alternating between both Shaishin and Genji. So Shaishin, you can go first.
One thing I liked about the game, one thing I really liked, kind of like brought the whole game to being good was the graphics, like the sound and characters. Yeah, basically everything you're walking on, like when you're going through the whole prison and like the labs and everything, even the sewers, everything was just super well done. Like just looking around, the atmosphere was super scary. But the atmosphere was scary. I'm just gonna let that.
It's like the environment.
The environment was scary. The setting was scary, and then the actors, just how they were made throughout, and then put into the whole game, super, super good. Like it really made you feel that you're in space and inside of like a like an infected
high security prison.
Yeah, high security prison. Like this, yeah, just like. Even in your headsets, you just hear creaking in the background of like what's going on around you.
Okay.
That was one thing I liked good about the game.
So sound design.
Yeah, sound and environment, the graphics, just everything about the graphics was super well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying and the environmental. I think the visuals and the sound design were done quite well. When I say environmental, I don't necessarily mean the design of the world and that sort of thing. I'm going to touch on that later with a few issues, but I think sound-wise, with the sound effects and all that sort of stuff, I think they've done a really good job graphic-wise. The game looks really, really pretty. On performance mode on console, I had a really smooth experience through the PlayStation 5. Didn't realize though that once you start the game, you can't change it. You have to go out of the game in the main
Oh.
menu to change it to performance.
Sounds about
So I
right.
played through some of the game going, this feels really sluggish. Why isn't this great? And then I quit the game, went into settings. I'm like, oh, you have to be in the main menu to make the changes. And even on performance mode, though, the game looks really pretty. The sound effects from when the monsters are like growling and yelling and that to them going into the vents and all that sort of thing. It sounds really good. They've done a really solid job with that.
Okay.
Next.
Then Chaishen, got another one?
Yes. The sound, the graphics.
The sound.
Fighting. The
Well,
fighting was very satisfying.
Okay.
Like when you're
tremendous.
fighting the xenomorphs or whatever you call them.
Yeah, the xenomorphs.
Someone correct me. What are they called?
Xenomorphs 0.5.
The
0.5.
The biomorphs. What are they called? Kenji, what are they called?
Don't think they ever gave a name. I know they distinctly mentioned in Dead Space necromorphs a few times, but
Okay.
not sure. But they're definitely not necromorphs in this. But
Yeah.
I don't really know what the enemy names. What
Like whatever. But
The
the
biohazard.
fighting. When you're fighting them, it's just when you swing your baton, the deaths were super over the top, which is everything made it super satisfying.
I like the hit, like
Like,
when you're smacking something.
Yeah,
The
when you
feedback.
smack, you really feel the smack. It's like,
apparently, according to the Callisto Protocol fandom, you've got the biophage and you've got the security units. So the biophage relates to every
oh,
sort
they call
of
them biophage? Okay.
yeah biophage, and then the robots are just called security units.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad they
Yeah,
went
but
all
like when
out.
you're hitting the biophages,
Uh-huh.
it's just super well done on like how you would smack one in the face and you would see a skull pop open. Like every death and every like attack in this game
Felt meaty.
felt very good. Yeah. Like everything, yeah, even when you die, I think each specific death has its own like scene. Like a messed up scene. Even when you're like on this one mission where you're just falling down. Like even that had like his own specific scene for each death. Even each character fighting has like like a 10-second long scene of you getting smacked in the face and your head exploding.
Like they really went all in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where the
Like,
budget went to.
Did you ever play any of the Dead Space games or?
Nope. Never.
Okay. Yep. So lots of the things you're sort of talking about with that, I'm just like, it comes across like you've not played the other Dead Space games because that was a
No.
huge thing. And there's when all the Dead Space games came out, and that there were huge like video like montages on YouTube of like all the death scenes.
Oh, okay. So I've seen
Oh,
those.
yeah, I
So
remember that.
I've never
Yeah.
played Dead Space,
No,
but I've
so, yeah.
seen a bunch of scenes.
Yeah. So no, I was just curious about whether or not you experienced that or seen it or played it or whatever. So yeah, it's very akin to Dead Space in that regard.
So that's where
Yeah.
so that's where all their budget went to.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that.
Yeah, they really should have. I'm just saying they should allocate that budget for quality control. But
Yeah, but that's what I like.
wait,
I like
hold up. We're on
I
the
like the
things we like.
scenes.
Things we like. Sorry, folks.
Yeah. Wait,
focus.
hold on.
My bad. All right, all right, Genji. What's your second thing?
The gunplay feels good, but the changing of weapons in combat is arse. So I'm going to go with something a bit more funny.
Yeah, things
And
you
the
like,
fact that
man.
you
Things
can-
you like.
You can pick up the enemies and put them on tables, and they instantly die, and that is hilarious.
Is that by design or is that by?
I really don't think so. No.
No, it's because you
Wow.
just drop them off. Like
It
you
was
put them in a
hilarious.
corner.
Oh,
Well, not even
jeez.
that. So later, when you're going through the game and after you've been kidnapped by, picked up by the security unit and you've been put back into like your cell.
Okay, yeah.
So after that bit, when you're going through certain corridors and you've got like the medic unit, like the mental asylum sort of things where you've got like the padded rooms or whatever as you're walking down
Yeah.
the corridors, there's quite a few spots where they've got tables. If you pick them up and just put them on top of a table, they instantly
Oh, they just
die.
die. That's so
it's
stupid.
it's like they desync with the environment, so the game doesn't recognize that the enemy is on top of the table.
God.
So you then
It's like
it
Dying
instantly
Light.
dies. Yeah. or the time that when you're again like Dead Space 2, but when you're on top of that moving machine and you've got all the enemies coming at you. I
Yeah.
got stuck on that for a little bit, and then I beat it the first time I played through. By the game teleported me into the air, and the enemies kept spawning, so I could just shoot them. And I eventually, as soon as I moved the character, he fell back down and survived. But I was just floating up in the air and just throwing the enemies off the area, shooting them from above. And then I reached the checkpoint where it was the mini boss, and it was just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was
So-
by design.
I reckon so. I think if the game notices you're struggling a bit too much, it goes, okay, we're going to just let you instantly kill them.
Enable table mode.
That's basically. Oh my god! Because I put them in a
Okay,
corner where they can't like move and they just die. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I will say
That's
that they
cool.
it's through any environment. I tried when I replayed the game a second time, it wasn't just that, it was just any part in the game. If you put them on top of something, they will die. It doesn't have to be a table. If it's on top of any form of thing that's locked to the environment, they will die. So the cool thing about being able to pick up the enemies is the environmental thing. So you've got giant like spikes coming out the wall sometimes. So if you pick them up and throw them into that, they instantly die. Or if you hit them with enough melee, the enemies can die into that. So it's got very minute elements of bullet storm in that regard, where you've got environmental kills,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but you don't get points or rewarded for it. So
So by
yeah,
design.
that's yeah. So
Of course.
say that's my second positive for the game.
All right. The unplanned in-game mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't think. Okay.
Do you have anything else, Shai Shen? Because
Yeah,
I've
you
got
one
No,
more
I'm
thing?
done.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
I like the game. I don't know.
I like how the title
No,
is
I got
spelled
nothing.
correctly.
Yeah, there you go.
what
All right.
about the fact that the game eventually ended?
Oh,
It's a positive, isn't it?
That's
That wasn't a positive.
That can
I was
be
more
positive.
pissed off.
Yeah, because you can't get your money back.
Yes. I was like, damn it, past 2 hours.
What about you, Genji? Got one more thing you like about the game?
That it ended eventually.
All right, we'll take it. Okay, question 4. What are 3 things you did not like, and how would you improve it? And as before, we will be alternating between Shaishen and Genji. So, Shaishen, if you want to start.
Okay, I'll stay with the first thing. I did not like how glitchy it was, and so when the cutscenes happened, I think like half of my cutscenes, probably most of my cutscenes, always ended like it started with like 10 FPS. So each cutscene was just super laggy. I didn't really get to enjoy it as much as I would have. And before playing the game, I had to do a bunch of like setting changes. I was trying to figure out how to get Callisto Protocol to work. The game was crashing on me every time I opened it up.
Mm-hmm.
I did like uninstall. I basically looked up everything I could have done. I finally got to work by like updating a bunch of stuff. But yeah, the game was just super glitchy, like especially coming out. Like no one tested this thing.
No.
Like, and then the other thing with the glitches too, I had problems where I couldn't pick stuff up. like you know when you like pick up the boxes and you have to stomp on them? Dude, every time I would stomp on a box, the item would glitch out under the floor so I could see the item, but I can't pick it up. And it happens a bunch of times when I'm like stomping other enemies too.
Oh man.
Like when there's stuff on the floor, I can't pick it up because it's shining in front of me, but the prompt to pick it up is gone. I'm guessing because it like glitches down or something.
Oh my god. That sounds frustrating.
Especially for a survival horror game when you can't pick up the items you need. Yeah, it kind of fucks you over a little bit.
God, survival horror game where you're supposed to be managing resources when you can't do it because the item is literally inside the ground.
Yeah.
That's rough, man.
Oh, actually, okay. I might have to piggyback off that a little bit.
Yeah, you can.
One of the good things is I like is how well, considering the item thing, right? That reminded me. There's a lot of like for a survival horror game. There's a lot of resources.
Too much resources.
That's a bad thing, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. There's too much resources. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, the game was glitchy, garbage.
Oh, geez.
But
Dude, that's what happens when you blow
But
your
yeah,
whole
that's
budget
my
on.
first.
Yeah, when you blow your budget on only death animations, that's what happens.
They ruined it. But yeah,
Okay.
that's
All right. That's oof. Ugh. Okay. Genji, what you got?
I'm going to leave the most harsh criticism till the end.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the dodge mechanic.
Oof.
oh yeah.
Heard about
Yeah.
that one.
So, so the dodge is really easy to learn, pull off, and master. It's just you hold the button, the stick left or right, you dodge the attack, there's no timing, and then when they go to attack you again, you hold it the other way. And then you usually there's usually 2 to 3 attacks they get, then you get to go in. Uh, the problem with that is it's a survival horror game. The idea is item management, looking after your resources, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've given the player the ability to dodge pretty much every single attack and never run out of ammo, there's never a tense feeling involved. The only times that are a major issue are the mini bosses or the boss at the end, in which you can dodge, but you can't strike back without using your gun. And if they attack you, it's an instant kill regardless of what difficulty you play it on. I'm pretty sure I checked out normal and hard, didn't check out easy, but regardless, you can dodge every single attack pretty much the enemy throws at you through the dodge mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've
God.
got if you can kill essentially 99% of the enemies through your melee. The only problem is bosses, and when the game decides to like more than one enemy at you, because they can attack you at once, you can kind of fend off 2 enemies. You can throw one away with your kinesis and then attack the other one. But if it's like 3, you can't really dodge properly, and I guess that's their way of making things more difficult, is to throw more enemies at you with a mechanic that doesn't work well for more than 2 people, 2 monsters you're fighting off.
Ah.
But again, like I've seen lots of people complain about how the dodge can be a bit difficult. I've never found it difficult at all. I breezed through it, learning it pretty simple. It's a very simple thing, and it makes you feel very overpowered. It doesn't add to the feel that things are scary. There's no stamina or whatever, so you can stand there the entire day and just keep dodging. You're
So
never going to tire out.
how would you fix it then?
I would make it that you either can dodge for a limited amount of time, so you can't just constantly dodge every single attack. Maybe add a bit more timing into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, while they try to do the dodge to make the game stand out, and if by removing it you'd get a more generic horror game, it ultimately might have made the game feel a bit more terrifying if you just removed it. But the problem is you mix the dodging with the melee, and they both don't work well together regarding atmospheric, the environment and the atmospheric design. So
Okay.
either leave one in or change it so that way that your dodging you've got like a stamina bar or something for it.
Okay. To really help.
Yeah, to make it
Emphasize the
more see it actually running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shaishin.
I didn't like the game. I didn't like dude, the combat was terrible. I don't know, but yeah, going off thing, you literally just hold left and right. Like it was so boring. Even the bosses, when you're fighting, a boss, the only thing you had to do was dodge left, shoot, dodge right, shoot, dodge left, shoot. Hit him once, dodge left, shoot, dodge right, shoot. Hit him if you want to. And that was like every single thing in the game. I mean, granted, there's like 2 other types of enemies, but it's still the same thing where you dodge left and hit, dodge right and hit, and then dodge left and then hit.
So there was no
You're not doing
strategy
anything
at all to like were you able
No,
to shoot
you just
or
you can shoot, but
there's like no weak points you're
it's
supposed to strike?
still well, there is like legs and head, like all that, right?
Okay.
But it's just the combat was just boring. It was just like, like they put it in the game. We're like, okay, this works, and then just set it off with no play testing. Like,
Ooh, okay.
it's just, I mean,
So
the
how would
controls
you
were so annoying.
So how would you tighten everything? Make it not
Give more variety and make what Genji said, take out that dodge or even give a stamina like bar. Like the oh, and then with the attacking thing too, they did like add an additional, when you swing your weapon, you can like quick fire shoot. What I hated is that when you swing your weapon and you quick fire to shoot, the reticle does not go onto the enemy, it just goes somewhere else. So when you, I don't know if you've seen it, but when you yeah, dude, it pissed me off. I was like, what's the point? So when you hit an enemy, this reticle on the enemy's body just pops up. So that means you can do a quick fire. So I don't know if it was like that on the console, but when you quick fire, your reticle just goes away and you have to still have to aim. So there's no point of the quick fire thing. It's just like, it's like fake gameplay.
Oh my god. So they have an ability in the game. It just sounds like it's broken. It's literally just broken.
Yeah, it's broken. Yeah. I think it worked like 10% of the time where my reticle would go, but I still have to aim. There's no point. I mean, the gameplay was just, it was just like you're fighting one enemy, like a Flash game. You're fight like, oh, here's one guy who can shoot like a blob, and that's it. There's one guy who goes invisible, and that's like the two other creatures in the game. And there's like other stuff, but I mean, those are like QTE characters.
Oh,
okay. I mean, this game was just, it was cool for the first hour, considering how much effort they put onto the graphics and fighting everything, how satisfying it was. But when you're doing it over and over and over again with the same enemy, the only difference is they throw more at you, so you get hit sometimes. But
and I'm guessing the game didn't really give you like a huge variety of ways to.
Yeah, I mean, there is the grip where you can lift people up, but it's just the combat was just so boring. There's nothing too special about it, especially for how much stuff and how much they could have done with like your grip and then your weapons. So I think the dodging kind of ruined it.
I think the dodging is the
my mic's working again. My mic's been having a few issues. As you were saying before, on console it does snap lock. So you can attack, you can do the melee attack, and then it's got the reticle, and then you put.
Dude, PC does not do that.
Yeah, no. Whether it's a controller thing or whether through aim assist or whatever, but it snap locks on console.
Oh my god, yeah, PC does not snap lock. I was like, what's the point of this thing? If I still have to aim at him.
It definitely, it definitely works on console. The whole again aiming for limbs or whatever, in that sort of idea, but it definitely works properly on PlayStation 5, at least through my experience.
Yeah. And then so with the fighting, dude, you have to fight with the camera a lot.
Oh,
do you have issues with that? I had to fight with the camera because the thing is, I don't know how like Dead Space did it, but considering you're fighting in such close corridors and your character kind of like locks onto someone when you're fighting, I had to fight my camera to find out who I'm fighting, and then because there's a tight corridor, my camera would be like always wonky to where I basically just have to finish the first enemy I'm like working on.
There weren't other gameplay mechanics that reinforce like spatial awareness of where enemies are when things are getting crazy.
You're kind of, I mean, there's a shotgun.
No, I mean, like there was nothing in the game like a HUD detection or anything showing that, hey, this enemy is about to attack you or anything.
No.
Oh my god. Okay.
Because it did follow that, like I know in Dead Space they did this, but they did follow the limited HUD where it's just on your back of your neck. So there's nothing extra on the screen. So you are kind of like, survival horror aesthetic where it's just you. But yeah, the combat was very, very boring. It felt like it was lacking a lot.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
Building on that sort of thing with the idea is the audio logs. Did you find the way around?
I didn't touch those.
So interesting fact. So again, talking about the HUD and minimal sort of stuff. In Dead Space, you pick up an audio log, it will play. You don't have to go into the menu. But in Callisto Protocol, you have to go into a menu to listen to the audio log. You can't get it. However, if you
I did have an issue with that.
If you press play on the audio log, pause the game and unpause it, you will be back in the game, and the audio log will play without you being in the menu.
Well, that's if you have to do the menu thing. The game should just already do that. God dang. I did have the same issue. I was like, I kind of want to listen to these, but I'm doing stuff. Just play it.
If you play it, on console, if you play it, which I don't think PC works the same way. So if you play it, you essentially pause the game, unpause it, you'll be back in gameplay. You can walk around and do whatever, fight enemies, and the audio will play without you needing to be stuck in the menu.
And it's so stupid.
These, I tried playing it when I pressed the tab, so when he just opens his face up, and then I tried exiting, but the audio ends. I was like, well, that sucks. That's annoying.
No, so if you instead you pause the game and
Oh.
continue playing without, which I don't know if it's meant to, but it shows the game does work. With you being able to play and listen to audio at the same time. So it's a very big oversight, considering they're the people who revolutionized the idea of those of audio logs in survival horror.
You're telling me they spent all this time with this whole concept, this idea of like, oh yeah, let's go no HUD, let's make this immersive, and they couldn't even figure out the freaking audio log thing, like the most basic of concepts.
One of the big fundamentals of Dead Space they did not successfully do in Callisto Protocol, which is a huge thing in Dead Space, which they could not do in this game that's meant to be the spiritual successor.
Okay, I don't even know where we are. Where are we?
You're next. I got my last one. My last one is next.
Oh my god.
But after you.
I really hate the idea that because of such a limited amount of guns, if you miss a schematic for a gun, you do not get the gun.
Really?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I didn't miss any of them. Really?
Yeah. So I played through it twice. The game annoyingly didn't recognize that I beat it on hard, but regardless, played through one, and when I played through it the first time, I got all the weapons. The second time I played through it, I purposely missed a few to see what would happen. Unlike Dead Space, where it will eventually pop up in your storefront a few chapters later, this one, from my experience, does not give you the option. So there's a huge lack of weapons for the game, and if you happen to miss one of them, you do not get it. The problem with this is that in Dead Space, you have the locator, you have the waypoint that you can do to go to your next objective. In this game, you do not have that. You are forced to explore. And that's great. I love it. Survival horror, you need to explore everywhere. But if you go into a door that forces you into a cutscene that blocks the door, you miss out on that weapon. And when 3 weapons are pistols or a magnum, one's a shotgun and one's an assault rifle, you effectively have 3 different kinds of weapons. You miss one. So the shotgun's forced on you. You have your pistol that's forced. You have effectively your other 2 pistols or whatever. And then the last weapon is an assault rifle. So you can effectively, at the minimum, have 2 weapons for the entire game. The pistol's a load of shit once you get the other ones. And the shotgun's pretty good. I found the assault rifle was really good against certain enemies. But it just restricts your gameplay so much because it doesn't add that variety. Whereas Dead Space, it's like 8 different weapons, 4 inventory slots. Find that works for you. Problem is that you're going to take up your inventory with multiple different ammo types. But at least you can have the variety and you find what works well. In Callisto Protocol, you have very similar guns, and if you miss them, you don't get them. It's incredibly frustrating and it makes the gameplay.
You don't get them? What?
You can actually.
I know some of them are like Easter egg type stuff where you have to go into special.
Yep. So unless it's a glitch, with my experience, because I've only played through it twice and I only have one experience of playing through it without getting the weapon. But yeah, from what I've experienced, if you miss it, you do not get it.
Nice.
How are they? These are like. This is basic 101 game design.
Yeah, because some of them you have to go through like a special path, or you have to leave the story mode to get them.
What are they doing?
Yeah. Also, not to mention the fact that your save doesn't actually save; it saves to your previous checkpoint.
Oh my god! So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So if you are playing, so there was an instance where I'm like, I've played some gameplay, I've just done this one thing. I'm like, I'm gonna save, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna go and do something else. I loaded it up, it went back, and the problem was when my first playthrough, when I got stuck on the moving vehicle. I had a few items in my inventory. I'm like, cool, I'm going to sell them. I'm going to upgrade this gun. I'm going to buy this new thing. I'll be set. I saved afterwards. Because the autosave was before I did that, every single time I died, I had to resell the same stuff, see the exact same animation, and go through again only to die. I could not save after that. So therefore, I could reload it after I've done the stuff in the shop. And it didn't also save after the shop will give you an option in the menu. I was stuck doing the exact same thing, about a 3-minute process over and over and over again. I probably wasted about half an hour just selling items and upgrading my weapons.
There's no manual save either.
No, the save system is
the-
fake.
Yeah,
you
the manual
kidding
save
me?
is
Oh my
the manual save is
God.
just resaving the previous checkpoint.
What is going on with this game? It's literally it's not just broken like, by buggies. It's fundamentally there's
It's
Yeah,
game issues.
fundamental issues with the
What
game.
the frick?
At least with Dead Space,
Jesus.
if you wanted to save, you had to go back and find a previous save point. That was fine. But in Callisto Protocol, there are no manual save points, so wherever the autosave is, that's what happens.
yeah, it's
Or say
fake.
you go, or say
Makes
you
you feel
go,
better.
I'm going to go into this door, and then it also saves, but there's another door. So you leave there, you go through there, you fight some enemies, find this like box or whatever, you open up, get a bunch of ammo, go to leave, a few more enemies drop on you. You then venture through this different path because you found another secret. You then go, you save. It will save to that auto save, so you have to go through that entire process all over again.
Is there a chapter select?
There is
No, is there?
And there is no new game plus either.
So
Okay, yeah.
If you Oh my god, so it's only forward. You can't go back at all, it sounds like.
No, especially if there's like
can go-
achievements.
You can go back, but you can't save going back. So if you open the wrong door, you can go. It will go back to that door, so you have to venture through it over and over again.
Oh my god. Can't even there's no chapter select. What is
No.
this game?
Pretty good. It's a
Well,
pretty good game.
Dead Space didn't have a chapter select either, but at least it had manual saves.
And at least, like you said, you can get the weapons that you missed.
Yeah.
So, oh my
Whereas, Callisto Protocol, from my experience, you cannot get the items you missed.
this is awful. Well, I think we're back to Shaishen. I'm pretty sure we probably covered more than the three, but
Oh, I've still got my massive criticism to go.
No, we're on three.
Okay,
This
so
is the
we're
third
on the final third set. Okay, all right, go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. Okay. For a horror game, this game was not scary.
Thank you.
Dude, this game was boring, scary. Dude, this game, I expected this game to freak me out. Like, I was like, oh, I'm only gonna play this on mornings. How scary it was. It was to the point where I was just playing it like with the lights off, just me, and I'm like, ugh. It was like, okay. I was like curious. There was like a jump scare every 5 minutes.
Oh,
Like not even 5 minutes, probably like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then goes 2 minutes. Dude, there's so many
I've
jump
got a
scares in the
pattern.
game. You just become
Desensitized?
desensitized. Like
They
you
never
can
actually build up. Sorry, go on.
yeah. Dude, it's like you walk into a room, oh, something comes at you. Like it was to the point where I can literally guess when a jump scare happens, and I was correct like 80% of the time. Like it was so fucking like they didn't capitalize on, an overrun prison with like monsters. Like, okay, Gage, you remember the scene where you're in the water and there's something in the water like swimming?
Did anything actually attack you during? I
No,
don't remember
nothing
being
attacks
attacked.
you. No, nothing attacks you. Like even in the you're in a vent. Like there's so many vent scenes where you're just crawling. They probably did one scare in a vent.
No.
And then
Like,
and then I think that was it.
Where was the time?
What?
Like, where was the moment where you have to like climb into a vent and you start crawling? Then all of a sudden, an enemy pops into the vent and is chasing after you, or something. There's something like that to build tension. The game
Yeah,
doesn't
there was
have-
none of that.
the game goes jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. No environmental awareness. No build up of tension. We're just going to throw all these things at you and never actually have
Yeah.
an environment that's built up to something that you feel like the jump scare goes, oh, fuck, a jump scare. It's like, oh,
Yeah, dude, it was
okay, I
so
guess this thing jumped
lame.
out. Yeah.
Like whoever wrote this game sucked. Like honestly, like the story, even the jump scares, like this how the jump scares, I'm like, okay, jump scares sucked. This game, the gameplay wasn't scary. How about the story? The story was so lame. You know how many times they're like going up to a person, like one of your teammates or whatever. Oh, hey, we made it. 2 minutes later, oh, I fell down a platform. I'll meet you over here. It was like 5 times. Like, oh, I finally made it to you. And they're like, okay, let's go over here. Oh no, we got separated. Like, it happened so many times. I was like, and then this jump scares would happen. Like so many times where I would just open like a chest and an alien pops out, and I was like, wow.
Wow.
Okay,
I
next.
For example, the last chapter of the game, every
Yeah.
single one of the valuable chests has nothing
Yeah,
in there, and there is a
what
monster
are those,
in there. So what you learn is that in the last chapter of the game, you do not open any chests because there is a 100% chance there will be a monster in there to attack you, and there is
Dude, it's
nothing in there at
each
all. So
one.
instead
Oh
of
my
creating the
God.
risk of going, okay, there's might be something good in there for the last chapter as you build up towards the final boss, every single one you walk past, you go, I know that there is something in there. I will not go in there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay. I just opened them just to be like, okay, that's cool.
And it becomes mundane because even if you go, I am going to risk it, you go, oh, okay, there's an enemy.
It just
Dude,
sounds
it's like everyone.
it sounds like
Hmm.
they did not earn any of those jump scares. They just shoved jump scares down your throat.
No, it was literally a jump scare like 2 to 5 minutes every time. It was
Because
just
it
Oof.
worked well in Dead Space because they actually built the
No, yeah.
atmosphere and worked
They
up to
built
the jump scares.
tension.
The thing is, in Dead Space, there is the tension. They work up to it, and the game like gives you the jump scare, but the game works for it.
Yeah.
It does not work
okay.
for it in the Callisto Protocol.
Oh God.
No, it's just it's there. And then okay, next one. Oh, you walk into no corridor? Oh, an alien's gonna pop up from the vent. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that was my grade, dude. This for something that portrays itself as like Dead Space, scary, especially in the trailers, and it's just not scary at all.
Trailers was scarier than the actual game.
Oh,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
that's it. Yeah,
Unfortunate.
this game's
Okay.
not scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, Genji.
Now-
Last thing.
Excellent. Okay, so the game tries so hard to be a spiritual successor to Dead Space, but the actual team does not actually understand why Dead Space was an amazing game in the first place. So, quickly before we get into this, Shaishan, how would you fix the problem of Callisto Protocol not being scary?
Oh,
Realize we
whatever
never
you
actually
said
talked
with
about
the give some tension and
Yeah.
actually maximize the setting. Like you were put in these crazy settings and they don't maximize on it. They just have the jump scares. That's the whole scary part of the game is these jump scares.
What I would love, which one thing I really noticed was that, like, in the beginning when you're locked up in the prison, there's no like day-to-day prison life. Like, there's no venturing between things. There's none of that.
Oh, that's
world building.
true. Yeah.
Imagine if, like, at the beginning, you get captured, you then spend a little bit of time in the prison, and then you go and get the surgery, you get the thing implanted, you go back, you do a little bit of sort of just learning about the world,
Yeah.
being soaked in, then all of a sudden shit hits the fan. You've at least
You don't even know where you
built the
are.
environment- No. Okay. So yeah, the game tries to be the spiritual successor to Dead Space, but doesn't. The team doesn't actually understand what made Dead Space so great in the first place. I'll talk about Callisto Protocol. Then I'll compare it to Dead Space and how Dead Space actually improves upon it, considering the game from 2008. So major spoilers. So in the Callisto Protocol, you crash land on a moon. You're taken as prisoners. Then things fall apart. You escape your prison cell. You meet someone. You try to escape. Things don't go according to plan. They die. You meet someone else, and you get a shuttle. But then, oh surprise, surprise, the shuttle blows up. And then eventually you decide, hey, let's figure out what's actually going on here. There's no world building. The audio logs are really, really short. So one of the great things about Dead Space was the original, because this is the first game, so I'll compare this to the original Dead Space, is there was story within those audio logs. Tell me, how much of Dead Space did you play? Because I remember you played a little bit, but I'm not sure how much.
1 and a little bit of 2. Oh, and then of
Okay.
course
So
finished 3.
Nice. So do you remember how in the first game there was those two people, I forget their names, but you followed their journey through the Ishimura, and then
Yes.
eventually they died at the end?
Mm-hmm.
There is that story, and how audio logs were like maybe 30 seconds to a minute long.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the longest audio log in Callisto Protocol was like 15 seconds, if that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like none of the audio logs are very long, and they really don't add anything substantial to the game. So the game, firstly, there's very much beat for beat in Callisto Protocol, similar to Dead Space, and the audio logs are there to enhance the gameplay, which I remember speaking about in a few book club episodes ago. The idea that you can get the audio logs or whatever, or text logs, and they would like I think it was for Requiem, where you had certain things that you could go and get that would add to the universe and add to the depth and sort of flesh things out.
Yeah, the
But in Callisto
souvenirs.
Protocol, the audio logs don't really flesh anything out. They don't tell you anything that you weren't aware of or didn't know already from my experience. I got probably about 80% of them. Whereas in Dead Space, there is a lot of shit that goes on in those audio logs and text logs that add to the universe and add to the game. Callisto Protocol doesn't have any of that. Uh, Also, the story isn't particularly all that interesting, whereas in Dead Space, the story is interesting, the audio logs build on things, and it actually fleshes out the universe. And honestly, person who wants to imprison people to turn them into the perfect beings versus crazy cult trying to take over the world and give eternal life is a lot more interesting in my feel. Um, Touching on the gameplay, we've spoken a lot about that sort of thing, but apart from we've really gone over it. The lack of guns, the mistiming of
Oh yeah.
things. Yeah, like for example, you like the benefits of some of I guess one good thing is that you correctly time, you can do extra damage and limbs come off. But one cool thing about one interesting thing that kind of works and kind of doesn't is the idea that the enemies partway through the game they can become enhanced versions of themselves.
Okay.
The problem with the issue with it though is that it's every single enemy, whereas in Dead Space it created the idea that you had the infector come along and you had to focus on that infector before it turns other bodies. So you had to deal with the dead bodies around. So the corpses,
Oh
you'd have to try
yeah.
and get rid of them.
Remember that.
And then while you focus on the infected, there might be two, so you have to deal with that. But while that happens, other enemies might be coming in. So you have to choose between dealing with the enemies charging at you or dealing with the infected that's going to create enhanced versions. In Callisto Protocol, every single enemy partway through can become an enhanced version of itself. It's not
Oh.
special, and it doesn't
Oh yeah,
create that.
yeah.
It doesn't feel special, and it doesn't create the environment where you have to pick and choose. What do you deal with? And it removes that tense feeling. Also, there's nothing really that breaks up the game. I don't remember anything that breaks up the gameplay, really. I mean, there was one puzzle where you had to go to 3 different spots. Dead Space at least had some puzzles where you'd use your status or kinesis and that. You had the little mini games or whatever throughout it where you could shoot things into holes and that in different spots. But I don't remember anything actually breaking up the gameplay. It's just constant go, go, go. Yeah.
God, that in combination with the constant jump scares. That's just
Yeah, it's not fun. It's just
No.
rough.
And then you've got Dead Space where the weapons feel different because in Callisto Protocol you've got 3 pistols, a shotgun, and an assault rifle. 3 of the weapons 2 or 3 of them feel identical to each other.
oh yeah, the skunk gun and shotgun.
Yeah, like you've got the skunk gun and the shotgun, and then you've got like the other. I feel like there's another pistol, and then you've got your starting pistol, which feel very same. So you've really only got like what feels like 3 different weapons or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You have your baton.
oh yeah,
I just find it funny how you were like, how can a game made by the Dead Space developers, no, quote unquote, advertised and made by the Dead Space developers, fail to have made a game that's actually even closely reminiscent to Dead Space? Like the moment you said that, I was like, how come everything that you're saying reminds me of our Back 4 Blood when we were comparing that to Left 4 Dead?
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
bro.
Shout out to that episode. Check that out. We totally rag on that game.
oh, so glad I picked that one up. So glad I played that through Game Pass. I would have hated to have played that.
Yeah. But it's strange because, and when you think about it, when they advertise this game, they really emphasize that whole fact of, oh yeah, from the makers of Dead Space. They're writing on the coattails of Dead Space. So by default, it is fair game for us to compare it to Dead Space, which is exactly what you're doing. And
if
the
they
game's failing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if they go advertise it as something for the creative Dead Space, you've got Glenn Schofield there, and it's all that. Then you need to look at how does it hold up compared to Dead Space.
And it doesn't.
Exactly. The enemy design in Dead Space is far more interesting. You've got more enemy variety. In Callisto Protocol, the enemies are just run-of-the-mill generic zombie-like creatures.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this before. You can pick up enemies and put them on things that instantly kills them. Removes, again, feeling of tenseness. And also the fact that your status you had in Dead Space, there's nothing like that in the Callisto Protocol. But status created for puzzles, which broke up the gameplay, which meant that then
okay.
you could have that moment of reprieve, and you could go, okay, I feel
Oh,
a bit
the
safe.
tension being rebuilt.
Yeah, what's that?
What is that? But we should definitely move over to question 5 because apparently we've been on the negatives for about 30 minutes now. So
I've got one. Give me one last minute. Callisto Protocol is
got
not
1 minute.
scary. There was no. It's not scary. I did not jump. There's no new game plus, and because you always can dodge and you've got melee, you never feel like you're running out of ammo. Dead Space, I stayed up all night playing it till midnight. It was very scary. There was a new game plus. You can run out of ammo and cannot dodge. You literally have to conserve ammo and try to make everything count.
Dang, Genji, you just said your whole final verse. We haven't gotten to question 5 yet.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna go to question 5 now. And feel free to reiterate everything you just said. So question 5, last question. What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale? Shai Shen, take it home.
Callisto Protocol. Very good. I like the game. I mean, it was a Callisto Protocol. I mean, it brought us up to be like a super well graphically designed game. But with that, it felt like the developers literally put all their money inside of the graphics. Everything else did not match at all. So for considering how much graphics there were, how well the graphics were, was the complete opposite for the gameplay. It made it so boring. The thing wasn't even scary. That, like, for survival horror, it wasn't even like a scary game anymore. There's so much stuff they added which they could have capitalized on, but just relied on the stupid jump scares every 2 minutes. The story was so lame. It was like a basic horror movie trope where they're just trying to find what's happening. The gameplay just annoying, weird controls, bad, just bad gameplay in general with how you're fighting these, very well made enemies. And they did Karen Fukuhara wrong. Pissed me off the most. Oh, by the way, she's the girl actor in the game.
Oh,
because they did what do you call it? Body camera thing? What do you call it? Or like the body tracking thing.
Body capture.
Yeah, body capture. So the girl actor, she was the one in Boys. She was the Asian girl in The Boys.
Wait,
yeah.
She did
and then the other dude, I forgot
who.
For
the enemies?
The girl in the story.
Oh, okay.
Like, because there's 3 people in the story.
Oh, okay.
And then what are the names of these characters?
I think I remember her name. Her name was Danny.
Okay. I mean, it's like
I don't remember the main guy.
I don't think it's not Jacob because I know there was. Oh no, was it Jacob?
The Asian girl.
His name was Dave. I don't know. Yeah. I just know Danny because I love her actor. She's in Suicide Squad and Bullet Train and stuff, and they did her dirty, which pissed me off the most. Oh, and okay, I'm just gonna add this too.
All right, go ahead.
They made her seem like a bitch. Like,
when it's your character's fault the entire time.
I know, but no, it's just weird because you don't know any of the characters because they don't really explain you anything. So she's just a bitch to you the whole game, and you're like, "What did I do?"
Oh, because you shot her because she boarded your plane, and then you shot the glass that got shot, so she flew out your plane or something. I'm pretty sure at the beginning.
Yeah, but you didn't know that because you're just they don't explain. The story sucked.
I guess
the story sucked ass.
Jeez.
You don't know these people. You're just playing it. And then even their debts. Wait, what?
I like how also that she goes, "Oh, don't trust him," but I'm not sure if she was talking about you or.
No, she's talking about you.
Yeah, so but yet it's like, but apparently this guy's a murderer, but then he's teaming up with. But I'm like, you've got no proof that we were the ones who were smuggling the infection. To
Yeah,
begin with.
exactly. Like who?
So
You
what
don't
do you
know
mean
these
that-
people.
Yeah.
This is my first time meeting you.
You've got no proof on us at all that we actually. I
Yeah.
mean, we do have it, but you've got no proof that we do. So why are you hating on me?
Yeah, dude.
She's racist.
Like it's just the story was so poorly made.
Uh-huh.
No, dude, the game was so poorly made. Just like you don't care about these characters. Their deaths, don't care. What's happening, don't care, because it's just put on top of you.
More about the
They just
cat in Stray, like in the robot in Stray, about the robot dying instead of this. I'm like, just
Oh my
the characters are
God.
unlikable and boring.
yeah.
Also, what's
But
with that
yeah, that's
purple
my
box
wait. What?
thing?
The
What's up with
what?
that purple box thing that you
Oh,
remember
they
there's, like, that
explained it.
box?
No,
Like,
they did
Yeah,
they changed it.
They did, but I'm just like, oh,
Oh yeah, they don't explain that at all.
it's just crap. It's just
Yeah.
competitive marker. It's just crap.
Okay, well,
But yeah,
What's
that's
your final
this
score?
game
Hit us with
just
that final
this game
score.
was just not really my favorite. The only thing that saved this game was just how satisfying the graphics were, the sound, and everything else. Gameplay, no gameplay. Very sad. Did not want to play it again. Glitchy and garbage. I give this game Callisto Protocol 4 out of 10.
All right. All right, Genji. What you
Callisto
got?
Protocol is not scary. I did not jump once. There is no new game plus because you always have a way to dodge and use melee. You never actually feel like you're running out of ammo when doing when you build spend your money to build upgrades. If you buy certain things, you're fine. You'll never have any issues. And yeah, in Dead Space, when I played it, I stayed up to like midnight playing it. It was very, very scary. They actually handled the atmosphere, the environment, the characters, the story, all that amazingly well. In Dead Space, when you run out of ammo, you can't dodge. And so there's feel that you have to conserve your ammo and you have to make everything count. The end of Dead Space, I'm not going to say this because Dead Space coming up, there is a cool, freaky thing that happens. And in Callisto Protocol, they do the same freaky thing, but not quite as well. So I will give it a freaky 5.5 out of 10.
All right.
Wow.
It's not Dead Space. I will go back and play Dead Space now.
There you go. Well, with that said, the Callisto Protocol gets our final average rating of 47.5% or 9.5 out of 20. By default, this is now the highest rated game of 2023.
Terrible.
Oh, a terrible year.
Oh my God. Off to a great start. But enough of that. Genji, do you know what time it is?
Oh, yay.
Woo! Bonus mystery question time.
Bonus mystery question time. So those bonus mystery questions were prepared ahead of time by everyone here, but no one knows who or what will be asking the question. Now it is time to spin the wheel of mystery. Here we go. Got the wheel right here, spinning now. 3, 2, 1. And the bonus mystery question asker is gonna be none other than Genji. All right, Genji.
Yay.
Congrats, man.
I got my
Congrats. What's your question, dude?
If you could turn any unexpected game into a horror game, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that is a good one.
So, like, for example,
Action Impact.
you've got. So when I say unexpected, you've got your genres or whatever. So it's like turning Persona 3 into a horror game or My
Okay.
Little Pony.
Ooh, pretty sure that exists somewhere. So
Oh, a
anything.
game?
It has to be a game, right? Has to be a game.
To be a game, but things like, The Last of Us, obviously, but it's like anything that's not a horror game. What would you turn into a horror game and why?
What if there's already a horror game about it and I really, really, really liked it?
No, so you have to turn it into a horror game.
Yeah. it has
No,
to
there
be
is a game, but they already made a game about it.
Oh, you're saying something completely like
Just
far
something
left
completely
field and you
unrelated-
somehow turn it.
far left.
Yeah.
That's not related at all to the horror genre.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and start that 60-second timer now.
So one of the games that I was like, oh, that'd be a fun horror game, would be Marvel Snap. So explaining the reasoning is for I wanted a card game to be horror games because I got the idea off this game called Inscription. You heard of that game?
Yes, I heard that's the top 10 board games of all time.
Yeah. So what they did is like, considering that Marvel Snap, basically it's just a generic card game. So you're fighting for your life. Like I think Resident Evil, didn't Resident Evil do like a poker blackjack thing?
Did it, Genji? I don't know.
Tubby, I was gonna say Tubby, check that one.
What?
Resident
Evil poker?
Evil.
They did a
Card
blackjack.
game.
Oh, let's find
Resident
out.
Evil card game. Resident Evil board game.
Card game?
Resident
No,
Evil
in
trading
the
card.
actual video game, Resident Evil 7, they did a blackjack.
Yes, you had to play
DLC.
You had to play blackjack against they did. I thought you were talking about like in real life.
No,
there was
I'm
one.
talking about like
Oh,
you make these cards your life. Like you can't just play Scarlet Witch like nothing. You have to play her, and then if you don't play her right and she dies, you die in real life. Like that. Like, I mean, just a dark setting, you're playing card games, and then things just go ham. Like Jumanji. Like a board game. You're playing card games in the game, right?
Yeah.
And then Jumanji happens, and you're instantly transported in this world of Cabin in the Woods, and you have to choose the Ring versus Freddy Krueger. And then they fight in real life, and you're there. And then
so you're
you
gonna
lose.
You're gonna turn Marvel Snap into a game where if you lose, you just die.
Yeah, well, in the game.
So you get transported into the game.
Yeah, but in the computer game.
Can we have a Honey Pop version of this?
Oh, that's yeah.
Honey Pop
Into
board
the Honey
game?
Pop world.
with horror people. They have that.
Wait, what?
Oh my god, you'd have lewd images sent of different horror characters.
No, it's called. I think it's called Dead by Daylight, like dating sim.
I don't want to see Freddy Krueger's penis.
Dude, Dead by Daylight has a dating sim
Does
where you
it?
date like the monsters. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's pretty good.
I mean, yeah.
So,
But
hold on.
What?
Your horror game is the Marvel Snap, but
but instead the Marvel Snap characters, you're doing the horror guys. But then the horror guys, you remember Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Like the horror guys are in real life. So you're using real life horror movie characters to fight. But then it's dark. Like, how did Cabin in the Woods, like you have to get scared or else the world ends? It's like that, where you have to you have to use these horror guys to survive.
They had all the horror tropes and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
whatnot.
Okay. I don't quite get it still, but all right.
I'm down for
I'm
it.
down. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll download your horror game.
Thank you.
card
It's called
game.
Marvel Snap.
Marvel
Snap.
Avengers.
Marvel
Or Snap, but instead of Snap, it's Snap.
Snap to your neck.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Snap your neck.
Oh my god. Okay.
Love
All right. I'll download 3 copies now.
Thank you.
And Genji, what you got?
I would turn Bratz Forever Angels into a horror. Oh, Rock Angels, I mean. Bratz Rock Angels into a horror game.
What?
Rack Angels.
What's it called?
Bratz Rock Angels.
Rat Rock Angel.
Bratz. BRATZ.
Oh, Brad.
Oh, Bratz Rock Angels. What the?
Yeah, Bratz Rock
Brad.
Angels. I would turn that into a horror game.
Wait, which version? PS2, GameCube, or?
PS2, specifically the PS2.
All right, I'm gonna look up Bratz Rock.
Wow, that would be a
Angels
scary horror game. The doll's already scary enough.
PS2 gameplay. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, that's already scary, especially with those kind of graphics.
Yeah, it's scary. It's freaky.
So you've already got the graphics sorted out.
Oh
but
shoot!
while you're trying to-
Graphics sorted out.
So while you've got So while the objective of the game is to make a fashion studio, you have to also make zombies and vampires and that really pretty. And if you fail, they kill you
In real life?
in
Oh.
real life.
Oh my god! So you have to convince them that they're beautiful even though they're ugly.
You have to. That is the true horror.
Oh
of it all, because you've got
jeez!
the horrible graphics, but you have to convince
Oh my
Yes,
god.
To beautify them.
two demons that they are beautiful.
Ooh. Why is
That's a
there-
hard difficulty
that-
spike.
This is
That
hard.
is truly horrifying.
This is horrifying. I'm gonna have nightmares now and night terrors. Oh
It's
jeez.
a really horror game.
Oh god.
Also, while you're walking around the world, you've got zombies coming at you, and you have to run away from the zombies.
Oh my god. That's
There you go.
that's dynamic gameplay right there.
Did you make it actually scary?
I think he did.
So-
Callisto Protocol?
Brat's AI director.
Or the second game I'd pick to make scary is the Callisto Protocol.
I like that one.
Shout out.
I think that.
Oh my
Shout out to the best horror
God.
game of the year so far.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh my
So
god.
that is my answer.
That is beautiful. Thank you for both of your answers. I'm gonna go download them right now. I'm gonna go pre-order them. Special edition, $150 or less.
Oh yeah. It's a season pass though, so it's $150 a month.
Oh my god. Seriously? All right. Fair enough. Okay, well, I went ahead and I opened up the live stream.
Oh no.
Now it's time, my friends. Before we conclude this episode, it is time to spin the Wheel of Mystery one more time to determine who will be selecting the next game for VGBC. All the points have been submitted. Everything has been calculated. Let's spin the Wheel of Mystery. You guys ready?
No,
All right, so here are the points.
Points, dog.
Chai Shan has used 5. Of course, you get 1 free point for completing Callisto Protocol. And Genji has used 13 points. He went
Damn.
all in for his bank of points.
You really did.
This is it. So I'm going to spin the Wheel of Mystery now.
Oh my god, that's so much. I thought 5 was a
kills.
lot. I swear.
Oh! What the frick? Well, Genji, you know.
I'm sorry,
That's
Genji.
kind of how it happens, you know? That's how it
You
goes
won the
sometimes.
1 out of 30, so
That is true. He had like what 0.05% or something. It was-
I would
it's
like a
crazy.
refund.
Oh my god. All right, Chai Shen, what is the next VGBC video game?
the game that we're playing that I was excited about is Sports Story.
Sports Story for what console?
It's Nintendo Switch.
Sports Story.
Don't look at that. Don't look at that score.
I never.
It's
we
not
never-
real.
That's not. The score's not real. Never happened.
Maybe Callisto Protocol will be the best game this year.
Oh no.
All right. So if that's it, then yeah, Sports Story is the official game for the next VGBC.
Yes. It finally happened. Yes.
Happened. Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming out. That concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, whatever platform you can find us on. Links in the description box below. With that said, take care, have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Good game.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
GG.